Mabuhay! For our today's demonstration, we will be doing Scandinavia and Eastern European cuisine. And the first thing that we're gonna do is the appetizer, which is smørbrød. And it is basically an open-faced sandwich. And let me show you my ingredients. So we need a rye bread. We don't have a rye bread, so we substitute it for a wheat bread. Some lettuce and mustard and mayonnaise for the spread. Half of a lemon juice. 3 pieces of bunched shrimps, 4 pieces of boiled egg, capers, pickles, and our cold cut meat, which I have 2 varieties, and the butter is for the toasting of the bread later. So let's start doing our smørbrød. So for our first step, we will be needing a spatula and we will melt our butter for our wheat bread to be toasted. Once our butter is melted, we will be putting our wheat bread. We will toast it both sides. Once our bread is toasted, we will flip it both sides. So after toasting our 4 pieces of wheat bread, we will be doing our spread by combining the mayonnaise and the mustard. So after combining the 2 ingredients, we will be grabbing a half of lemon for our lemon juice. We'll just basically mix it. After doing our spread, we will just simply put a generous amount each one of the wheat bread.
So after putting the spread in our wheat bread, we'll be adding some lettuce. Then time to arrange our 2 variety of ham and our shrimp and the boiled eggs. So let's just finish it with our salted and pickles.
So for our second recipe, which is pork goulash, here is my ingredients. So I have here my pork briskets cut into cubes, also my Hungarian sausage cut into cubes, vegetable stock, baby potatoes unpeeled, so I wash it very carefully, sour and cream, oil, onions for sauteing, and of course chopped garlic, salt and pepper to taste, flour for thickening, and our paprika. So let's start doing our pork goulash by first grabbing our pork briskets, and we will marinate it by pepper and paprika. So for the next step, it's time to sear our pork briskets. So once it is almost pre-cooked, we will flip it one by one for the other side to be cooked.
After searing our pork briskets, we will transfer it each one by one.
After searing the pork briskets, it's time to saute and caramelize our onions. To be followed by the garlic. coriander and the onions and garlic is cooked, it's time to add the caraway seeds. But I don't have caraway seeds, so I substitute it with fresh rosemary.
And it's time to add our thyme.
Once it is done, we will transfer our pork briskets here to be followed by our sauté Hungarian and onion and garlic. We will submerge it with water and season it with salt and pepper. Let it boil for about 30 minutes. Okay na. Let it boil for about 30 minutes before we add the rest of the ingredients. We don't have a caraway seed, chef, but we noticed that we have a cumin powder, so I will substitute it with this by putting some half of a teaspoon, and we will mix it. After 30 minutes of boiling, our
Pork goulash.
After 30 minutes of boiling with the baby potatoes, it's time to add our sour and cream. We will boil it for about 3 minutes. Now I'm done cooking my pork goulash. Now it's time for our plating. So I have here my parsley to garnish and so finally, we are on to the last part of our demonstration, which is for the dessert. And this is what we call tisha maloko, one of the famous Russian dessert. So let me show you my ingredients. So I have here 250 ml of sugar, 250 ml of milk, 450 ml of sour and cream, and 1 sachet of gelatin. And for our chocolate toppings, we also have here 5 tablespoons of milk, 5 tablespoons of cacao powder, 5 tablespoons of sugar, and another 1 sachet of gelatin, and our whipped cream. So let's start doing our tisha maloko. First step that we're going to do is pour our 250 ml of milk here. To be followed by our gelatin. We will mix it for about 3 to 5 minutes. Now we have our open fire. It's time also to add our 250 ml of sugar. We will just mix it in a low-medium heat. For the next step, we will need our sour and cream and our whipped cream. I'm gonna use a whisk because I don't have any mixer here. And the tip that I am going to do is I put this last night on the freezer, and we will add our sour and cream. We will mix it together, and we will make sure that the two ingredients is incorporated. Once our gelatin is pre-cooked, it's time to add here in our whipped cream and sour and cream mixture. Just a little bit and a little bit. Don't put it as a whole because we are mixing cold and hot mixture. So it's time to pour our mixture. So I have here a styro because I don't have any molder. We will try our best to mold it here. We will have here a space for our chocolate toppings later. We are all done, and here is may I present to you my smoothie. So for the final touches of our dessert, I have here some milk, sugar, cacao powder, gelatin powder, and our water. So what are we going to do is just simply mix and combine all the ingredients in a low heat pan. So let's start by putting our milk. Just let it heat for a while.
To be followed by our cacao powder. Make sure that the mixture is fully melted and don't have any cacao powder lumps.
So once we are melting our cacao, it's time to add our sugar. Combine and melt it all together. Once our chocolate cacao is melted, it's time to add our water and gelatin. Make sure that you're using a low heat meat. Low heat fire. Ilan lahat ka to? To be followed by our gelatin powder. Melt it all together. It's time to grab our tissue meloco and we will put this on the top, our chocolate mixture. It's time to chill our tissue meloco for about 1 hour.